Today, we're going to be rating your physiques on a scale of 1 to 10, accounting for aesthetics, appeal, physique leverage, body fat percentage, and FFMI. So this is a pretty interesting graph that we're looking at right now, and this is essentially the best way I think we can do it. We just get all of the physiques and we put it on the graph correlated to where we think it sits in terms of our physique scale. So it's going to be a lot different to like a bodybuilding scale or an objectively better physique. We're actually accounting for things like aesthetics, appeal, like we said, and what results you're actually going to get from it in the real world. If you watch our videos, you know we're a big fan of building a physique that gets you what you wanted in the first place, right? Like attraction from women, respect from men, and you just want to look good.
So at the end of the video, I'll point you towards our 1 to 10 scale based on basically every physique and what category we put them into, but this is like a good summary. Basically at 1, it's like completely overweight, it's as bad as it gets, and at 10, basically no one's ever 10, and I don't think anyone here even scored a 9, because you just need so many factors to work in your favor. Genetics is the main thing, to be honest, and then like a decade of gym experience, being lean, being tanned, and have literally everything in place, and most of the guys in 9 and 10 don't even sustain this for more than like a couple of years in their prime or in peak condition. So we're going to start at 3, which was the lowest score we gave out, and going all the way up to 8. And please do not get offended where we ranked you. We're not really trying to be nice about this. We're just objectively having a good look. And remember, you submitted the physiques to be rated. So at number 3, we have this guy here, which pretty much lines up somewhere around here. So what that means is, in terms of aesthetics, you're either too skinny or noticeably overweight. Your physique will actively detract from your appeal. It's kind of just a weak, soft, unhealthy look, and FFMI is like 16 to 17, or it's just high body fat, which might be masking maybe a little bit more muscle.
So yeah, if we go back to the 3, we can see this guy right here. Honestly, in terms of the actual Western average population, this might actually be above average. I'm not even going to lie, but our average is accounting for like a naturally sort of athletic, active man. I don't think we should set the standards of where they're at right now. I'm not doing that. I'm not setting 5 at overweight. That's not, it's just not true. Even if that is actually the average male right now.
Yeah, he's not massively overweight. He's just holding far too much body fat, because you can actually see there's a little bit of definition in the midsection here. Like you can almost see the outline of these 2 abdominal muscles here, but it's just so much body fat which masks everything, and there's not a ton of muscle mass underneath it. So the first step for this guy would be to just lose body fat, get skinny first. It just must be done, and then you can build from there. You know, you guys are probably familiar with our approach. It's basically the same advice for most people. Next, we move up to 4, which 2 people sit under. So this is like sub-average. There's not really any leverage here. You've either got poor proportions, no real standout traits. It's slightly negative in terms of your appeal. You've either got kind of a skinny fat or a blocky build. And we go up to a potential 17 to 18 FFMI. But what you'll see is this guy here has well above that. The physique by itself, if we weren't accounting for appeal or a tan or any of that stuff, could be a 7, could be an 8.
It's crazy physique. It's a really, really good physique.
And I don't want you to get offended if you're watching this man. Huge respect for building a physique of that caliber. You know, he's lean, he's got chest striations, he's built a ton of muscle. But if you're familiar with the channel, you wouldn't know why we gave this a 4. It's just the appeal. It just subtracts so much from your appeal, being that pale, having like the ginger body hair. As a ginger myself, I know this is not a desirable trait really, especially when it's like a light ginger, and the hair, the facial hair, it's just not it.
And I'm not entirely sure what's also causing the facial bloating, whether it's PED use. I'm not insinuating that, but that is common amongst some individuals, or it's just a bad high sodium diet. There could be a multitude of factors as to why this is the case, but if you are not getting any results because of your physique, this would be why. Because this physique right here is not serving him in any way, shape, or form. If this guy goes up to a girl with this physique or without this physique, he's going to get the same result. It's not adding any points in terms of attraction.
The first thing that comes to mind when I see this guy is Milana Tan 2.
Yep.
It would just fix his coloring completely. It would darken the hair, it would darken the skin, which would bump you up massively. I would sort out the diet a little more, but I'm assuming the diet's already pretty good. You just need to sort out the bloating. You know, it could be due to age. It could even just be due to genetics. Some people actively store more fat in their face. I'm one of those people. I need to get really lean before my face leans out. I would switch up the glasses. They're just not really high appeal. Glasses can look good on some guys, but just not this shape and those clear frames. But when we actually look at like a 4 in terms of physique, we've got this one here. So you can see it's actually a lot better than a 3. You know, he's leaner. I think he's put a little bit more muscle mass, but it's just slightly below average in terms of what I would consider like a healthy average.
Yeah, 100%. Like, he would look probably fine in a shirt, dead average, but it's when the shirt comes off, it's very unimpressive. If he were to shave the body hair, that would help him out as well. Once again, it's not a part of the physique, but it's a part of the physique appeal, right?
And then moving up to 4.5, it's like slightly better, and you can see this guy's actually a lot skinnier than both of these guys. He's objectively just holding less muscle mass, but he's leaner. You know, he's kind of got like a Justin Bieber body, which doesn't really subtract from your appeal that much. It definitely will. Older women and more feminine women definitely want you to have a bit more of a built physique, a bit more masculinity, but you look young. So like around your age bracket, if you are looking to date or something, I'm not sure how young you are, might not even be time to even think about dating yet, but yeah, it's just like slightly below average. The only thing holding you back is just more muscle mass.
Yeah, it's just, you're just a bit skinny. I had the exact same thing, right? If he were to bulk up a little bit, he could possibly reach like a 7 physique quite easily, because you can see he's got decent genetics. He's got a decent frame from what I can see. He's already got the abs coming through, good chest insertions. And he's lean to start, so he can bulk straight away.
Yeah, just a bit more maturity would help with this, honestly.
Yeah.
I think when you grow up, you're going to fill out naturally on top of some weight training, and you'll look really good, man. So it's actually a pretty good place to be, just not right now.
So then we move on to 5, which I would consider the average health conscious male. So think of like your commercial gym average, like a Planet Fitness average in terms of like a younger population. It's just like a normal male build, limited shape, so not too much of a V taper going on. It's neutral appeal, so you're not going to get too much of additional appeal because of your physique. It doesn't really help, but it doesn't take away either, because it is in fact average. And you just look fit.
And this would sit somewhere in terms of the general population, I believe, in like the top 25%. So out of 4 guys, you probably look the best. So it might be a bit controversial, actually, because some would argue this guy's physique here possibly looks worse than this guy. But I think there's just a lot more muscle mass, and in person especially, it would just look a lot better. And also, guys, I understand that some people here are frauding more than others, and I've tried to account for that, but also just the ability to take high appeal photos can definitely bump you up a few points as well. So we're definitely not fully taking out frauded photos, unless some of you are genuinely photoshopping. I don't think you are.
So yeah, we can see these two physiques right here. They're relatively the same actually. So a little bit higher in body fat. You can start to see an outline of a 6-pack. It's not fully come through yet. There is a visible shoulder separation. There's some decent amount of muscle mass there. All these guys really need to do at this stage is cut down to 10 to 12% body fat, and they'll be in a good spot.
And then at 5.5, we have this physique, and it's quite interesting. He's shredded. Like, you can tell he's got the thin skin. He's probably sub 10% body fat, but I don't know what's going on with the abdomen. Like, there's something weird happening there, whether it's a lack of development or some kind of genetic issue, like rib flare or something like that. But this genetic trait, unfortunately, is just subtracting from your appeal a lot.
Yeah, I put him at 5.5. Like, honestly, his arms are just carrying him. Like, the reason I put him in 5.5 is because if he put a shirt on, man, he's going to look hench. He's going to look crazy. If he were to have a tan, it would look a little better. But it's just that chest and abdomen area that's really taking away from his physique. I'd also say his traps. He's kind of got like that coat hanger look. I don't know, bro. This looks like the Kuma Wojak a little bit. Like, with the massive arm. It's like, are you just doing arm day or?
Yeah, I think maybe incorporate a little bit more ab training. If you got some like structural issues with rib flare or something that can actually be resolved somewhat, I would get a tan. I would do something with the hair. It looks really flat, kind of like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. But apart from that, you can tell you've actually been in the gym, gotten lean, and you've built like a lot of muscle mass. So that's why even with these genetic flaws, you've been put above some of the guys who have nothing really wrong genetically.
Because if this guy were to chuck like a wife beater on, he would look crazy.
And then we have 6. So this is one of the most stacked divisions. This is like intermediate. It's where you kind of enter the he looks like he lifts category. Visible muscle with a few weak points. It's above average appeal. It's respectable. You look solid shirtless and decent when you're clothed. Probably got around a 19 to 20 FFMI. And you sit around the top 10% of the general population.
So there's a few physiques here. They all look a little different. This guy here, very lean. He's got like the six-pack coming through. The main thing that's holding him back, honestly, is just the well-roundedness of his physique. There's something about it that just doesn't look complete yet, whether it's the traps or some more chest development. There's just a few weak areas. And the more weak areas you have, the more sort of exponentially it takes away from your physique and the appeal of it.
Yeah, it's got a controversial one. It's kind of like if we were looking at this physique in like PSL terms, like how the looks maxes give out PSL, it would like score really high. But in terms of like practical, like just a good looking physique, if you were to just take 10 seconds to look at it, just something looks a little off. And I think it is kind of trap development for sure. You do kind of have a coat hanger look, but this could easily be like a 7 or an 8. It's kind of a weird one to judge, to be honest. We've got this guy as well. Once again, just a couple of weak areas. I'd say you need to bring the chest up a little more and just overall muscle mass. And then this physique here, you can tell there's a little bit of frauding going on, but you can also tell that the proportions are pretty good. It's quite a well-rounded low level physique. And then this one here as well, you can tell it's quite frauded in terms of the lighting and the angles. Just need to lose a little bit more body fat.
Yeah. So if you scored a 6, that's actually not a bad thing at all. It's actually a really good thing. Out of 10 people, you're probably the best in terms of your physique. Not a bad thing at all. Just a few tweaks away from really getting to those higher levels.
Then we have 6.5. So things are moving along now. We got a lot more muscle mass. This guy could just benefit from like a tan, really, and just getting a little bit leaner. I think it's quite bad lighting, to be honest. You know, this physique
he's kind of doing himself a disservice here.
Yeah, it could get bumped up to a 7, honestly, with just better lighting and a 10. Now this physique here, terrible photo, terrible angle and posing, but I can tell you've got like quite a lot of muscle mass. And obviously these guys submitted other photos, but the video would be like hours long if we went through every single photo. And based on the other photos we saw, you know, very well built physique, small waist, broad shoulders. It's just the photos that are really holding you back. And just like the facial hair is not really appealing much, so that definitely subtracts from the physique because we're looking at the overall picture of it.
Yeah, because we've done an actual physique analysis on this guy and he's submitted way better photos than this, so I do have a better idea of where he sort of sits. And if you guys are wondering, who are you guys to rate physiques? You guys aren't even a 10. It's like, yeah, we know that, right? We've been in the gym for like 5 years. We're still working on it, but we do physique analysis as almost like a full-time job. Like it's one of our services we provide, which you will also find in the link in the description. And we've done over 100 physiques now. So I don't know, find someone better to rate your physique. People come to us, so we're gonna make videos about it. It's really that simple.
And then this physique here, nothing really stand out that's wrong with it. The shoulders could definitely be brought up. You could get a tan once again. Decent leanness, you wouldn't have to get that much leaner. Just maybe a little more muscle mass, but these physiques are all at a point where there's nothing stand out that's wrong with it. It could just definitely have points added on top.
All right, then we move on to level 7. So it's getting pretty saucy now, right? So this is physique leverage unlocked, I believe. I believe after 7, you have unlocked some physique leverage to the point where you can gain followers from your physique. You can do all right on online dating via your physique, right? So you can start to use that as like a leverage point. So you're like clearly athletic, lean, very balanced, proportionate physique. It has a strong positive impact on attraction and confidence as well. And you stand out in any normal gym. So if you were to go to like a Planet Fitness or like a Derrimits in Australia, you would probably stand out. People would be looking at you.
Around 20.5, 21.5 FFMI. And in terms of general population, probably top 5%. So let's have a look at these physiques. As we can see here, great muscle development, great muscle bellies and insertions, like really aesthetic muscle insertions, except the limbs are kind of long, which throws it off. But that could also just be the angle of the photo. There's not many people that can really pull off just like a relaxed front pose image. And the waist could be a little bit narrower. The shoulder to waist ratio could be improved a bit, but a lot of that's just genetic. This guy here, you can tell very well built, symmetrical abs. Could just do with a tan and
like a better photo spot too.
Yeah, just once again, kind of like this guy here to the left. Could just get better lighting, and I could probably put this up a tier.
And then we've got this physique here. Great flow, great structure. Could just do with a lot more definition in the midsection. which does look like a genetic thing because you are quite lean already. You could get a little bit leaner, but I think right now it's just about, training abs directly. But even then, it's not really taking away from your physique probably as much as you think or a lot of other people think. To be honest, abs do look aesthetic, but you can still see a little bit of ab development. And when you have that flow, that structure, and those proportions, it really doesn't take away as much as people think.
Yeah, the waist is so thin as well.
Yeah.
Looks really aesthetic. This physique here gets bummed up a lot just by the muscle mass. You're entering male gaze territory with this level of muscle mass, but it's a super impressive, nice, slim waist with that amount of muscle is hard to do. Yeah, very well built physique. Could just be a bit leaner to get more abs to show. Yeah, this one's pretty controversial as well because on the surface, it could easily be like an 8, but the waist is just kind of wide. The ab insertions are just throwing it off a little bit. Could just be the way you're tensing them, but great development everywhere. Quads look super aesthetic. There's not a lot of people that really build good quads. Shoulders and arms are great, so is the chest. I'd say the chest is a strong point.
Yeah, I think we originally had this guy at like a 7.5 or maybe even an 8, and we went through a few different creators that make similar videos, and we all sort of mutually agreed that he should sit here. But let us know if you think otherwise, and obviously let us know as well where you would rate these guys. But this is all based off a mutual agreement we all had, and sort of the medium of what we all thought.
Then we get on to 7.5, so you got a little bit of a bump up from the 7. Just guys here are generally a little bit leaner, better proportions, maybe that's genetically, maybe even more muscle mass, but this guy's probably holding similar amount of muscle mass as a lot of these guys. He's just leaner with better proportions.
Yep.
Same with this guy here. It's a great comparison between this guy and down here.
Very similar, actually. It's almost like a spitting image, just with like different ab insertions.
Yeah, just a slimmer waist, better ab insertions. And that's about it. That's just why you get bumped up by half a point. Okay, now we move on to 8, which was the highest rating we give, and there was 2 guys sitting in there. So this is what everyone thinks they'll reach. It's like the upper natty limit in terms of aesthetics if you nailed everything. Wide clavicles, small waist, capped delts, extremely high appeal with a strong halo effect. Your physique looks impressive clothed and shirtless. You could have a 22, 23, maybe even 24 FFMI. In terms of the general population, it's like 0.25%. So even at your gyms, this would be very rare to see. Now, it was hard to put this guy in a category because there were no photos of him with his shirt off, unfortunately, but I still had to place it here just because absolutely shredded, insane shoulders, nice chiseled jawline. Like
you can see like the split in the chest.
Yeah, you can tell he's absolutely shredded, and you can even see got quite a small waist. This guy would have had potential to maybe go up to 8.5 or a 9 if we could see the rest of the physique and it was just as good, like abs and quads. Or it could go back a place if we saw that the abs were fucked and you had no legs. So I was almost tempted to not even put this on there because you didn't have any photos with your shirt off, but it was just too impressive not to put here. And guys, if you didn't get included in this, it just means the photos were just not good enough to give an accurate rating. It would be unfair to put you in here against the other guys when either you were frauding super hard or the quality was bad or the lighting was shocking. So if we do a video like this again, you're welcome to just reapply with just better photos and you could actually have a chance of getting featured. And here we have like a true 8, shirtless, the most symmetrical six-pack I've ever seen.
This is carrying his rating, I can't even lie. The abs just look absolutely ridiculous. I don't even think I've seen abs like that before. Just, can we get a zoom up real quick? Yeah, like it's very, very symmetrical. The chest is symmetrical. Nice cap delts, vascular arms, very well proportioned. The waist could be a little slimmer, and that would bump his rating up, but I mean, everything is just so well in proportion.
If you wanted to increase this immediately, I'd probably just get a shave on the chest and around the stomach, and that's pretty much about it. Like at this point, there's not much you can do to really keep improving besides just increasing your muscle mass, and it would be hard to get leaner. It wouldn't really be practical to get much leaner. It's a great place to sit around, especially with abs like this. You could probably get away with holding a little bit more body fat than the average person and still look good just because they're so pronounced and so deep set.
And just looking at the guy on the right here and the left, I know it's like a whole half a point, but that's all we can allow for. If it was like to the exact number, the one on the left here would be like 7.85 or something like that, and this would only just be an 8. So there's not much difference, I agree. Not a half a points difference, but it's just we can't mix them all up like that. And guys, where would we put ourselves? Because I know a lot of people will say, oh, who are you to rate physiques? I would say probably maybe a 7 or a 7.5 at this stage.
Yeah.
Once I get lean again, I'm in a bit of a bulk at the moment, I would push up to, maybe 7.5.
Yeah, I think it would be too generous to say 8.
Yeah, no, not
We
8.
could even be around here in some scenarios while we're bulking. There's a lot of like variability with this. Obviously, you're going to look worse when you bulk. You're going to look better when you cut. Sometimes dudes enter kind of like a prime while they nail everything in and they fall off. So any time of the year, these guys could be completely swapped around.
And if you guys are wondering as well how to actually move up the 1 to 10 list and actually increase the appeal and aesthetics of your physique, you can go to that first link in the description. You can talk directly to us about it. You can get a free physique analysis where we go completely in depth to your strong points, your weak points, and we have an objective look at your measurements, your shoulder to waist ratio, your body fat percentage, your symmetry. We go over everything and we can break down exactly how to bump up your physique and improve in every area. And we've got all of our course content in there, over 100 plus videos, 300 plus transformations. It's that first link in the description, guys.
Now, if you want to watch our 1 to 10 physique scale video where we go over where you could possibly sit based on a bunch of different physiques, you can click that video right there and watch it for free.